Okay, so this is the FlexiSpot CyberX standing desk, and we're gonna do a full review of how high quality and premium this desk is. Now, as I make my way down, we're gonna talk about the setup, the overall build quality, the things I like about this desk, and some things I wish that were different. This is the 63-inch, and there's actually 3 different size variations that you can choose from. Also, you can choose from a black or a white tabletop. I personally went with the black because I really like how it sort of looks like a carbon fiber kind of material. However, it is just a regular wood surface, so that does help to keep the cost down, but the overall look does look a little bit more premium than what it actually is. Now, setting this desk up only took me about 45 minutes to an hour. Now, keep in mind that I was also filming a lot of that setup as well, so if I weren't doing that, then the setting up process would honestly probably be closer to like 30-40 minutes or so. And so it's honestly not that bad. And it does give you a lot of the different materials that you need. You do get the Allen key that you need as well. Once you have everything assembled, then you can do the sort of cable management. Cable management with standing desks is always just a really tough time, but you do get a nice little compartment that helps to sort of hide and mask some of the cables. So it does help to kind of neaten things up and tidy things. But at the end of the day, it is still a standing desk, and one of the biggest challenges is making sure that the wires stay hidden, not just when the desk is down, but that there's also enough slack that stays hidden as well when you're moving the desk up and down. Now, speaking of moving the desk up and down, you control all of this with the sort of joystick controller that is right in front of you. And with this controller, you can raise and lower the desk. You can set different heights to 3 different presets as well, and you can also adjust the RGB. Now, what I really like is that the RGB is integrated into the desk, which is really cool because it is a really nice integrated look to it. So it does look a little bit more premium and modern as opposed to one of the, cheaper options that could be out there. Now let's talk the actual build quality and the materials. Now, like I said, this is a wood tabletop surface, and I really do like the carbon fiber look and feel to it. It does have a nice little bit of texture, but it's not so much that it's going to bother you when your arms are resting on the desk. You also do get some included headphone stands and cup holders as well. And of course, they do drill in and out, so that way if they do snap off and break, you can always probably buy those separate or just get aftermarket ones as well. The table legs themselves are very strong and sturdy. The whole desk feels very premium and solid and planted wherever it is at. And I really like that because there are desks where the desk can wobble. You spend a whole lot of time assembling the desk and you can never quite get the wobble just right. You don't have to worry about that with this. So it is a really nice metal construction for the legs, and it just feels very weighted and solid. It doesn't feel like it's going to tip over at any point, even with me on there, and it does hold over 300 pounds, I believe. So it was certainly no issue for me, and I did not have any slight worry that I was going to fall off from the desk or that the desk was going to tip over or anything like that, especially as you load your desk up with a monitor, a computer, maybe a gaming console, different things going on your desk, and you're raising and lowering it. You don't have to worry about the weight capacity. And at the end of the day, the motors themselves, they're very strong, and I don't have to worry about the motors getting worn out because there's something heavy on the desk. It does not affect the actual performance of the motor itself. It does slow down a little bit, but it is still able to reach the different heights that you might set the desk to. The RGB light strip all around it is really nice. You can set it to a variety of single colors that just stays on and solid, and you also have a nice cycling option as well. So it really does give a really nice sort of ambiance feel to it. It really helps to set the mood if you are gaming and you want some lights going on, or if you are focused on work, you can turn the lights off as well. And what I really like about the black option is that, especially with the lights on, it really does look very modern, almost futuristic. realistic and very gamery. But when I have the lights off and I'm just using it for work, whether I'm sitting or standing, then it also feels really very much in place. So it's a really good sort of understated design, because once you actually use the lights and you're looking at the materials on the desk, then you kind of get the feel that it is more of a gamery sort of standing desk. But from afar, or just when the lights are off, then you're good to go for it to kind of blend into any kind of different atmosphere that you might have going on. And I really like how it gives me a whole lot of space, especially in my sort of smaller studio here. So that way I have a lot more room to spread out my monitor, my keyboard, my mouse, and all of my other different peripherals that I have going on around me. It also is really encouraging, for me at least, to have a more simplified setup. So that way it just stays nice and neat and sort of minimal and clean looking. And it helps to encourage me to kind of declutter the desk as often as I can. And another thing that I really like about the controls themselves is that there's 3 different options to set different presets. For me personally, I just use 2 of them. I use one when I'm sitting down at the right height, and then one where I stand and it meets me at the right standing height. Now, the third option can be great for your spouse or your partner, or just anyone else that might be using the desk. That way, neither party is kind of getting left out and having to manually adjust the height every time they want to sit or stand. Now, as I get into some of the cons, if you are liking this kind of a review video where I'm just giving you my honest thoughts and impressions, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss more videos like this. Now, I have 2 particular issues with this desk, and both of them deal with the controller itself. The first being the build quality of the controller, and the second being sort of in my opinion, almost like an oversight of the controller itself. So the first with the build quality, I'm not a big fan of the joystick control. It is very intuitive and it does feel like a gamery style of a desk, and it is sort of easy to raise and lower the desk. However, when I'm just going side to side to control the lighting options between the different RGB lights, it does feel a little bit cheap as it sort of bounces to the right or to the left. And so it just kind of feels a little bit on the cheaper side. The buttons themselves feel a little bit hollow, almost like there's just not a whole lot going on behind there. And for the price, you're getting a relatively expensive standing desk, and the main touch point that you have to control the entire desk just feels a little bit cheap, in my opinion. So that is kind of something to think about, that you're going to be getting something that is close to around $600, depending on the size that you get. And the controller itself, the main thing that you're interacting to control this entire desk, is a little bit on the cheaper side. So it's just something to kind of think about as well. Really, what you're paying for with that $600 or whatever is the exact price that you end up getting it for, really the main thing that you're getting is a really high quality motor that is very strong, very performance heavy, something that I don't have to worry about. Is this desk actually going to make it to the height that I want it to? Is it actually going to stay solid and planted, whether it's high or low? You don't have to worry about those kind of things with this desk. However, again, it's just the controller is something that I would like to see improved. So anyways, that's my honest thoughts and impressions of the CyberX standing desk. I really like this desk. You're getting a really high performing and solid stable desk that you honestly just can't ask for too much more. So if you liked this video, you're definitely going to enjoy some more videos in this playlist to help elevate things in your own gaming setup. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.